I'm feeling intimidated.
Don't be intimidated.
Hi everyone, my name is Olubanke. Welcome back to this channel. Here we discuss things about parenting and how we can navigate a 21st century style of doing it. So with me here, I have two of my lovely brothers. Today we're going to be talking about something really important, something that we feel has been watered down in parenting. But before I let you know what the topic is, I'll let them introduce themselves. So I'll start from my right, then we go to my left, then we move on from there.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Adeola Adetoyi, a father of 3 boys. I'm 16 years old, I have 14, and I have 11 years old.
Now I'm feeling intimidated.
Don't be intimidated.
My name is Segun, Omotosho. Father of one beautiful daughter.
Yeah. Right, you're both welcome. I appreciate the fact that you decided to do this with me. I was intentional about picking both of you because I wanted somebody who is just starting fatherhood and someone who has been in it for a while, so that we'll be able to mix it together so that we're not tilting to one side, because we've kind of raised children in 2 different generations. If you have a 16-year-old and he's got under one, it's different world entirely. So I want us to be able to bring it together to see how we can go about this. Okay, we are going to be talking about the importance of the presence of a father and how to handle fathers that are not present, and how fathers can really take their place by being present in the home. So I'm just going to start with a question, then we go on with the discussion from there. So I'm going to paint a scenario.
Okay.
There are different ideologies from people. People say things like their dad was never present when they were growing up, like their dad was absent and they saw the effect. But there's still another school of thought that thinks that it wasn't really necessary for the dad to be home, since the mom is already there like all the time, and the dad is going out to make money anyway, that it wasn't really necessary. So I want us to look to the past and see what were the advantages of the father not being in the house in those days, and what are the what were the advantages of them being there for fathers that was there for their children. What did you see then? And because we've worked over the years, we'd have seen results from maybe our friends, our cousins. So what do you have to say about that? I'll let, I call him Mr. Snow. Uncle Snow. I call him Uncle Snow, but we call him Snow. So I'll let him start with this, then you can go on. If you want to kind of interrupt, we can go on from there and just...
Yeah, alright. So I think I'll start with the real meaning of being present or being present in the home as a father, because I think there's a misconception around being present. Sometimes a dad is out fending for the home and is also present.
Okay.
So the presence of a father doesn't mean that the father has to be physically at home with the children and not doing anything. I don't know if some people have that school of thought of the father must be physically present in the house, so that they will now think that, okay, this person is a present father. So some people, I mean, like my parents, when I was growing up, my dad does like a 8 to 8. You understand? He's a trader, so he has to be there before 8 and come back home after 8. However, they made everything available for us. We lived in a face B and face U apartment in Nigeria, if you understand that. And growing up with that, there are some things that I can never do. I would never attempt it, because I know that if my dad hears of this, and that's the presence that I'm talking about. So he's not there. However, I have a consciousness that my father is around in whatever attitude I'm putting out. You understand? And he has made it in such a way that the people that are caring for us or that are guiding us when he's not there, they tell him whatever attitude that we have put out or whatever things that we have done wrong. And my father has never supported us against them. If they report us to my dad will say, you must have done something, even if it's not up to what you have done, right? you must have done something for this person. So, and that's not, you understand?
Yeah.
So that's the presence that I enjoy.
Yeah.
However, I don't want to totally do that for my children, because it's not just going to be one. Abike, yeah.
I'm not there.
Yeah, I want to try as much as possible to. Now, I'm not saying that my father was not physically present.
Yeah,
the times he had,
yeah,
he was available at home.
there.
The times, I mean, I remember I saw a lot of pictures of myself and my dad. You understand? So it means that he's at home.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But I want to be present physically to a reasonable extent, and also, if I'm not there, maybe the rule, maybe the instructions, maybe the pattern or the way that I've want the home to be is there, and the children understand it and they're working by it.
Yeah, I think I'm getting you from that angle. Like, it doesn't mean that the man should be 100% in the house. It just means that even when he's not there, he's there. Yeah, over to you.
All right, so I agree with Snow in that regard, because talking about the presence of father at home, it is, some people have that idea that you need to be 100% at home, which nowadays might not necessarily be that way. When I was growing up, I have a father, also is 8 to 8 as well, but he makes sure that before he leaves in the morning, he talked or wake everybody up that you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. When I come back, I want to see all those things done. And he will leave. So when he comes back, immediately you are saying, hey, welcome sir, have you done this?
Wow.
So if you say you have not done it, so you will see that there is some level of presence, and I inherited that habit. At times when I'm going to work, I will not wake them up. What I will do, I will snap the dishes that is on the snap the floor, snap this, snap that.
Technology.
I will now send it to
so
them,
nice.
each of them, please do this thing
my God.
before I come back. Do this one before I come back. And and they adhere to it. You will see that that kind of being there is still moving smoothly. Yeah. Again, in the olden days, you will discover that traditionally there is a belief generally in those days that being the breadwinner, you need to just go out. Yes. That is their definition of being present.
Yeah, and we can't blame them.
You need to just go out, fend for the family, bring money home, and then give your wife the money, take care of the children and stuff like that. Yeah. So you will now see that as time goes on, the ideology now starts changing. Yeah. Then if you see a woman that is working, go out, come home in the night, they will even abuse him that, why? You are so much engrossed with work that you are forgetting your family. Yeah. Meanwhile, even if he's taking care of the family, they will still tell him or tell her that you are not
available.
But as time, went on, nowadays, you will see that being there, it involves the two of you, yourself and your partner, being able to establish and nurture a God-fearing, a disciplined child. Yeah. So now, if you now see people that still have that old idea nowadays, it looks odd, and they would not be able to catch up with the kind of development that is happening to the children as well. Now, because right now it involves the two, and when I say it involves the two, it even starts from being the head, because honestly, if you want to look at it and say being present, it starts from you and your wife. If you are not there for your wife,
you can be there for the children. Yeah.
Love would definitely tilt, because the children we are breeding nowadays, they look somehow distracted, but at the same time they understand what is going on.
They are so smart.
Between
the
two of you.
Yeah.
So, and they take away so many things from there. Yeah. If you often fight with your wife, you will discover that they will tend to be independent.
Yeah.
They don't know how to attack you as the father.
Yeah.
They don't know how to.
You get them confused.
You get them confused. Yeah. And with that, they get their, mentor outside.
We are still coming to this mentor thing, because it's something I like us to talk about as well. With the kind of generation we are raising now, we in this generation, a woman has to work, especially for you to meet, especially even in parts where we think women don't work. Now women have to work because things are not as it was in those days. You know, you have to meet up with bills if you want a good life for your family. The woman has to work, and we can't really blame our fathers. Personally, I had a dad who was a 9 to 5, or let's say 8 to 5 as well, but it was present. My dad will come back from work and he's home. You know, some dad will come back from work and they are not home. They'll be in the house, but they are not home. My dad, as tired as he is, he'll still play wrestling with us. We still play punching each other. You know, I still have these memories, and one of the things I believe is that the only thing you can live with your child is memories. Not even money, not houses, nothing. It's the memories you make with them. And this kind of gave me that, I want to relate it with what you first said. This kind of gave me that presence of him all the time. Even when I left the house and I went to uni, anytime I wanted to go somewhere out of school, the first thing that will come to my mind is, if I disappoint this man, he will die. So I know that he loves me, and I know that if I do anything that he doesn't like, it will break his heart. And that was one thing that was holding me.
Just to climb on that, I think that also helped me when I was going to the uni. When I was leaving, after I packed my bag and everything, my father sat me down and said, you know, we've not discussed about this before. You are going to school now. Remember the son of whom you are.
That line.
Yeah. Remember that I don't have anybody. I just have God. And He has been the one that brought us this far. Sincerely speaking, I don't think I can forget those lines forever. When I got to school, a lot of things happened.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
A lot of things happened. Getting mixed up with.
As a boy now.
You understand? In fact, there are some things that I did that, like, I joined the students' union. I didn't tell him because I felt like if I tell him, maybe he will see another perspective, or he will not understand that it was we were just, fighting for students actually. But I didn't tell him. But I made sure that I was a good boy. You understand? I made sure that I remember those words that he told me. And sincerely speaking, those words are still what helped me throughout my university, because I knew what some of my friends or some of my flatmates those days, what they did. You understand? So those words, those things, that particular night, those things I said, because I also did not want to disappoint him, like he said, because I knew also that he doesn't have anybody. You understand? So I agree with me.
So I want to believe that what you said is true across board. Your father might not be inside the house 100. We don't even expect a man to be inside the house 100% anyway. He might not be there to attend your PTA meetings because it's at work. He might not be there to attend your sport events because maybe it's your mom that has the flexibility for work that can attend all this. It doesn't mean that he's not there. And I think for the children we are raising now, one of the things that children enjoy generally and they want is the attention, presence. They want you to be there. And that's why you see fathers saying things like, oh, when you grow up, you see we are doing it together now. Your mom should not come and do Omugo alone and all of those things. Because children want presence. They want you, if you are there, they want you to be there. And to relate it with what you said, sir, communication is very key.
100%.
Very key. One of the things my dad doesn't talk too much. He's not a talker. He's a very quiet man. But one of the things that we did a lot was we had discussions a lot. He doesn't really talk like that, but sometimes I can start a conversation. Like, I could remember the day I went to him and said, Daddy, you know what? We had a discussion in school and I was really worried about it, and it was about virginity. And I wouldn't discuss things like this with my mom because she's very strict. The next thing, she start calculating, this girl, what are you planning to do? So I wouldn't discuss something like that. But it was my dad, and my mom was also there. And I said something like, oh, we were having a discussion in school, and some boys said they can never get married to a virgin, and even the girls were supportive of it. And I looked like the odd one out, like So I just kept quiet, and I was pondering on it. Like, I think I should be about 14 or so. And I came home and I told him, I said, this is what was happening in our school. And he said, this line has been there since he was young. They use this line all the time.
Wow.
So we had those kind of, it wasn't constant, but it was just random discussion. Maybe during, sometimes we have in our family prayer meeting in the morning, we don't even talk about the Bible. We just talk about life experiences, our relationship with other people, how our friend treated us, what we should have done, what are we supposed to do. You know, we go on with, and that sort of things just kept me in a state that is good for my life. So it's not about the father being in the house like 100%.
Because actually, because actually, some fathers are in the house. Yes. So like you said, they come back from work and then they go to bed. You understand? They don't even have.
They might not even go to bed. They might just read the newspaper and not talk to anybody. They'll serve them their food, wash their hands, and that's all.
Doesn't mean that you are physically there. You can be physically there and not sleep. And your children are not even free to discuss some things with you.
Exactly.
You understand?
So what I want to bring out in that is, you see, there are stages for children as well. And when you are present, it is not something you are going to do at a later stage. The presence in the life of the children starts from when they are small. Months, 1 year, you need to be present. Let them feel you. Let them have your presence. Carry them. You know, play with them.
So men don't even carry their children.
Now, if you do all those things and you communicate to them regularly, you will see that the bond will be established. And if a bond is established, you have created an avenue for you to inculcate to the heart of that boy or girl. And that is actually what happened when your father said, oh, you are going to school, know the son of whom you have. You feel it so much because you know how he has been. You will not want to disappoint. The same thing with you. And as they are growing up, definitely you cannot erase the influence of the environment, the school and stuff. You cannot. But how do you get involved in that as well? At that point, you need to go and step up again. And how do you step up? For example, when you are at home, similarly, please wash that plate when everybody finishes. Some of the things they don't want to be doing. It might just probably is in secondary school. My friend are not doing all those things. So as a man, the first instinct that comes is, I will beat you. Go and do it. No, that is not it. What I discover later on is, now I will now go to that plate.
You wash it.
And I will start washing it. And I will call him, stay with me, and be rinsing it. I will wash, rinse, wash, rinse. Now, the next thing is, make a timetable for yourself and let's be observing it. Now, if they are not following timetable and you see that this one is not doing it, you need to do the same thing
with that person.
Exactly. Show them how to do it. When you show them how to do it, you will see that with that, you see, in passing a message to children, being there for them, you need to make the burden the one that they can also shoulder. Let me just use the washing of plates. At times at home, as many as we have, we use pots, we use everything get loaded inside the zinc. You can see like 4 pots dirty. That get them crazy. Now what I would do,
it gets anybody crazy.
Everybody.
What I would do,
you don't like washing pots.
I will now get there, wash all the pots. Who is washing this night? You. I've washed the pot for you. Go and wash it. With that, you will see that they will be looking forward to do it. Looking forward when they see something difficult, you are the one they will come to. Because they know that you are a problem solver for them. You understand? So that makes them feel attached, and the issue of presence of non-presence is eradicated. Because at that point you are there for them.
On the problem solver you mentioned, I mean, I was at a conference recently and the speaker was a very family-oriented man, a very rich man in, like, I think, Czech Republic, and he said that he has 8 daughters, and he told them that when anything happens, if you tell daddy first, you are forgiven. So if you tell daddy first, before daddy knows. So those children, no matter how silly, no matter they know that if they go, but he now told us that sometimes he actually always disciplined them because some of those offenses are but they are joyfully always, they don't keep things, no matter how difficult that thing is, they come to him and tell him. So I also want to mention that we as parents need to also understand our children because they are different and we need to treat them like you mentioned. if you have done this with one and it's working fine, you can try it with the other.
And
if
it might not work.
Yeah, if it's not working, then you look for. So don't. We should not now say that because I knew how my parents. I mean, myself and my brothers, we are in fact totally different from each other. I remember that when we were growing up, if they tell me not to do something, that's that thing that I want to do. And if they tell my younger brother not to do something, he sits there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Children are just
Imagine now treating us the same way. You understand? It's going to ruin us.
Yeah.
But so my father treated me the way I was hard.
Yeah.
And my brother, I treated him the way he was. You understand? He didn't know that, or let me now say that he's even the one that is even more stubborn because he's reserved.
Yeah.
So they think that this one is gentle. So when he is now angry or when something happens, that's when you know that actually this one is exactly. Yeah. But so we need to balance and understand the temperament of our children and then give it to them.
Yeah. So that's resonate with me when you talk about the temperament, because our children they have different type of they might inherit some from us. They might just a combination of you and your spouse. It might even be your parents, stuff like that. But it is your duty as a man, and that is part of being there for them. You need to understand them in that regard. You need to understand the environment they have, because the environment also depends on the way you relate as well. If you don't understand all those things, you might be making mistake or be too harsh, wicked to one than the other. You understand? I have a son, my middle one. He always wants to do things in his own terms.
Don't tell him
to do this. You please iron your clothes. You are resuming school on Monday. Make sure you iron your clothes tonight or on Sunday before. No, he's not going to do that. It is that Monday morning.
We have the same son.
That Monday morning, he will now iron the clothes. I will not ask, why are you trying to iron the clothes when it's gone? Then he will tell you that it's just, I don't know, it might just be waste of time for me.
I can imagine.
I said, no, you are making time for yourself. Is a form of time management as well. And with that, you need to explain to him. Let him know the essence. Recently, he needed to submit a drawing because he's into art. He needed to submit a drawing. There is this down street anniversary, 80 years. That they want to celebrate in UK. They said people should submit artwork. And I got home, I think 2 weeks before. And I said, get this. This is the condition and criteria for this drawing. Do it and let's submit it on this day or before that day, deadline day. So just collected it and kept it. I intentionally did not even talk. When it was 2 days to that time, and I asked him, have you done it? He said, no. When do you want to do it? I want to do it tomorrow. I said, tomorrow is the deadline, 11 o'clock in the night. He said he knew that he should be able to finish it. I said, no. What you need to do, try to do something, ruminate over it, make mistake, correct it, and then come with a final version of that thing before. He said it's going to exhaust him, that he doesn't. I said, no. That it's good for you to plan ahead. Prepare yourself ahead. You explain things.
Children are just different.
And he understands. And by the time he finished that thing, it was so beautiful and you are able to submit. I said, now you are able to submit today. You have tomorrow deadline. But you can do something else tomorrow. So why wasting time on something that you know you can do today? So those are the things you need. Get close to them, observe them, let them know that you are concerned about their fear. Because by the time you let them know that, they will appreciate you a lot and then they will not hide anything from you.
And I think the difference between generations before us and this generation, I mean the fathers, is because fathers now can be questioned.
Definitely.
Fathers in those days, you dare not.
You can't question
them. Exactly. They are the almighty of the house. And the fact that fathers can be questioned and they can answer has brought that father to the level of the child. Then your child will be able to relate with you more. They don't see you as high up there that you're not available, they'll be able to relate with you. Let's talk about mentorship. One of my ideologies about parenting, I have few ideologies, but one of it is that I believe the parent should be the child's first mentor.
Yes,
in everything, spiritually, career-wise. That's why I believe that even a parent can start pursuing a degree because they want to show the child that it's achievable.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, before you go on, ma, when I was married, I used to tell myself that even if I can't get a PhD, my wife should, because I want my children to do that. Because it will be easy for us to tell our children to get a PhD because we have one. You understand? It will be easy for us, and the role model and mentorship of a thing is very important for children. I mean, I understood this late myself because when I started working, one of my boss said that, I mean, we were having a discussion and she said our father is our best role model and our mentor. And for me, I used to give different names. I've never mentioned my parent, but I now sat down and I tried to think back of the decisions my father made for us. Adeola mentioned environment when he was talking. My father took us from a particular environment, a particular society, a particular set of friends. He took us to another set of environment, and that changed our life completely.
Forever,
That changed our life completely. And I'll mention, he took us away from Mushin, the area, and he took us to Mafoluku, was like a tush area. I don't know what this looks like now. Do you know this was a great transformation for us? I tell you. So if my father can make such decisions for us, so who else is a mentor and who else is a role model? If not that man.
I think for let me say for our generation, one of the things that we learned when we're in uni is that you must have a mentor. And now you now be looking for somebody that resonates with what you want. You now go and pick them. I think our parents did so much that we overlook.
Yes.
I think they did so much. Like sometimes when if you interview my sisters or my brother, and we have different ideas about our parents, but there are some things that are general.
Yeah.
My mom is that woman that can make 3-course meal out of an empty kitchen. There's nothing in the house, but she'll bring food to the table. It's not that she's going to steal it. If there are just 2 ingredients in the house, she will make it so well that she will set the table so well that people will be thinking, what's this? That's the kind of woman she was. And she kind of mentored me in making impossible situations possible. That's why it's difficult for me to give up on things. I might just relax a bit and say, I can't achieve this thing, but I'll just say, no, I have to. She's that woman that will tell you, even if you don't have this person, you will survive. You've got to survive. She's that kind of woman. And my dad as well, my dad spiritually was that man that I saw that he grew. And my dad in that generation, my dad is going to be 80 next year. In his generation, for him, the way he handled his girl children, it was just so distinct. People felt like he was doing too much for us. By the time I was 17, he asked me to start driving. People started saying things like, oh, well, we should find a husband. You know us in Africa now. It was just, there was a day one man came to our house and, my dad attended CAC and trousers and all of these things wasn't part of, it was like off culture for the church. And the man came to our house and he saw me wearing trousers. I was going out, so I just greeted them and left. And I was hearing the man saying that he was saying some terrible word about his children, that they wear trousers too. Like saying that my unfortunate children wear trousers. I don't know that your own children too wear it. And my father responded immediately. I had not even stepped out of the gate. My children are not unfortunate. That was the kind of pressure he had from everyone. And he stood his ground. He might not have done it so perfectly, but he did some things that, even when I was going to choose husband, my only prayer, when people will say, I want him to be godly, I want him to be gentle, I said, I want somebody like my dad.
Can't imagine.
So
that was just all for me. Let me
just talk in that regards. It is just somehow unfortunate for us in our own side of the world. We get to know that our first mentor are our parents. We don't realize that easily until we get to a certain stage. And their stage is either you have just got married, you have started having children. That's when you now see that
these people did something.
And you know what discussing that is inability of us to be able to show these children one way or the other we are doing it. A good parent, father, mother, they are doing it, but you need to show them this thing I'm doing is a sacrifice, and that is the sacrifice. One way or the other, you are making a sacrifice for your children. If you don't let them know that this is a sacrifice you are doing, they will not get. You talked about that one, moving you from one environment. It was not easy. Moving from one place to the other.
It might even cost him more than you might be even above
the
his
amount
budget.
that cost him to move from that.
Because we are very little.
Exactly.
But I remembered I saw
so
the data.
When you do that in a subtle, gentle manner, in a friendly way, maybe you are just be strolling. You need to let him know that you see, this type of sacrifice I'm doing is for your future, and this is what I want you to become because of this. For example, I have a child, my son, the first one. He wants to be a pilot. He has been saying that since he was very small. I said, what will I do to just make this guy, in Nigeria? I said, no problem, we'll become a pilot. Just I not got here. Do you still want to become a pilot? And I said, yes, that he has not forgotten that he still wants to become a pilot. Okay, no problem. I know what I do. This console for a pilot.
For flying plane.
I don't know. I got it about 1,002. I bought that thing and I gave it to him on his birthday. That look, I'll support you.
Wow. That's a very huge sacrifice.
This. But meanwhile, we'll have used this money to take care of everybody in the house. Go a long way. Only you is having this, So he now prostrated, so moved that day. That thank you, Daddy. Immediately he installed that thing and he started. Every night he must play that thing as if it's just
playing.
So you will see that with that, he will be able to resonate with what you have done, the sacrifice you have made at a point in time. Even eventually, if he was not able to be that, he knows that you have made that sacrifice, that effort. So inability for us to be able to let them know,
explain things to them,
it makes us not to know that you will not be looking at your environment for your mentor, for something that is not,
somebody far away that they've not even done anything for you at all.
It just made me remember something my dad did, and I want to appreciate him again for it. Do you know that this man brought physical cash of my school fees to me in school? He traveled down to school and brought it. So he didn't enter the house, he didn't enter my house. He called me to come outside. And he said, borrowed this money.
Oh my God.
And that's why I brought it myself.
Hey!
He told me that he borrowed this money, this school fees. And that's why he brought it himself. He doesn't want to use bank. Before bank we bounce or something happened, I didn't get it. Doesn't want to hear story. That's why he brought it himself. And he handed over the money to me. And he left. He didn't enter my room. I'm telling you.
And the funniest thing, he might not even talk about it again.
And he didn't say anything about it. I didn't even know. Why you mentioned the sacrifice now, I remember, although I always remember and I appreciate it for him, but I'm remembering it again. And I'm appreciating him again for it, because those are some of the sacrifices that I saw physically that he did. And who else can be a mentor and a role model if not such father?
So, and again, on that note, when you say you are preparing for your future, this is kind of the thing we are talking about. Being there in every aspect
of life
for your children. It does not necessarily mean, giving money, financial stuff. Being able to sacrifice for them at a stage when they need it
most.
And that's what we are doing for my daughter now.
When they need it, you sacrifice it for them, and they realize that. You will see that by the time they grow up, that is what will be ringing in their head. That's my dad these days. My mom did this.
One of the things that I usually encourage parents to do is to involve their children in their finances. I've got children that are very inquisitive. If they say, "Mommy, we want pizza," and I say, "Sorry, I don't have money for pizza. Whatever I have is not for pizza."
Exactly.
You say, "But you have money in your account." I say, "No, it's not for pizza." There was a day I sat them down. Okay, house rent. This is how we go. This is how much we make. This is how it goes.
This is what remains.
So they now say, "So how do you pay for our football?" How do you see that? Sometimes the budget is even more than.
So they see
what, so they know what is happening. Yeah. Sometimes they come home and say, mommy, my friend, they've got this. You know, children now, maybe they had a discussion in school. They've got that, they've got this, and I'm telling them, guys, do you know that we've spent more than £30,000 getting you to the stage where you can call yourself British? In fact, we spent more than that. Do you know that we've incurred debt because we wanted to make sure this happened to you? And now they understand that, these people, they've gone like extra length. I said, you could have been somewhere in Lagos. Where we are now is because I had a good job, he was fine. We decided to bring ourselves here so that you will be all right. And so if we can't afford some things for you, we are not poor.
Exactly.
It's not that we are poor. The amount of money we spent, your friend, probably they were born here. They never even have any reason to apply for a passport in their life. They don't know that we have spent that. Don't let anybody make you feel inferior because you feel like your parents are not getting you things here. And I told them, you can't have everything everybody has. Somebody will definitely have something more than you.
I think that boils down to the communication that you mentioned earlier. I think that's the, I'm not going to say mistake. I think that's what our parents or some of our parents didn't do. That communication was not there. Let us know that
communication was just one way.
We had a lot of assumption about
it.
And that's what even causes problem within couples. You feel like your husband has got the money because you don't know anything about his pockets.
I mean, we had a party in my house and I saw a lot of people coming. When we had our last, a lot of people. I saw my friends so influential. Like this. So if they had communicated, these people is because we have gone for them. That's why they came for us. So not that they are my friends. So I think that communication is very, very, no matter how little the children are, and that's what helps even toddlers too. You have to communicate with them. My wife says, because now, last 2 weeks now, I've been doing fatherhood. I understand what being a father is now, actually. However, but my wife tells me that if she's watching something or if she's reading something, you have to communicate with her. No matter, even if she's just 8 months, you can't just leave a toy with her and say she should play with it. She doesn't understand what it is. You can't just leave a book with her and say she should check it, she should open it. She might be trying to open it, but she doesn't even know. You must be there to read it to if she's saying something, say it with her. Just let her know that you are present. You understand? To know that okay, this thing she's saying, even if she's not saying those words clearly, say it with her so that she knows that she's doing the right thing. And it's very important because no matter how little, the communications, if you start that way with children, and that's what I'm doing now, if you start the communication at that little age, it grows, and then it's easy for that child to know that, I mean, my dad is somebody that is close to me.
Always there.
And yes.
I want to now add to what he's saying and what I mentioned earlier on. You see, being there for children or being there for the family as a father, the starting point is you and your spouse.
100%.
That is the starting point. If that wall got cracked or maybe it's not okay, it's not there, it affects, it cascades to the children. There's no way, no doubt about that. Because you see, when you are not in good terms, when you are not together as a spouse, somebody will be frustrating the other person's efforts.
I've kind of had those kind of things too as well,
directly or indirectly. For example, now you go out and as a father, you brought some things, maybe a toy or whatsoever, you get it for your child. I'm so excited. Oh, daddy has brought a toy for me. The first thing you want to run to mom, see what daddy bought for me. You understand? Now, imagine you now got to the mother and said, see what daddy got for me. And just rubbish it. See what has happened. She noticed. So the next thing is
my mom doesn't care.
It doesn't care. And that's how it got started. And before you know what's happening, you will see that the kind of the care or being there for the children is being frustrated by the other person.
And that's what you don't want to
that kind of a situation. They will go and find whatever outside.
Something.
It is the outside that will teach them. There is a way they used to say it in
Yoruba.
I forgot it. But you now see that they got behavior or whatever going to be from outside, and you will definitely not like it.
Sincerely, I want to give it to the fathers that are in my generations now. At least some of them, like the good fathers I've met, they've really tried. You see fathers that were not really fathered, that have become good fathers themselves. They've really evolved.
Intentionality also comes in.
Things are really changing.
The mistakes that I noticed that my father did, some of the things that I didn't like that he did, or some of the things that I think that I should have done better. Now I know it. And I'm putting that a lot of effort to make sure that I don't repeat that for my children.
And I would say that men are really waking up these days, because I was reading, I was trying to write something about fatherhood and how the male child has been marginalized somehow. So I was seeing researches from America, from the UK, how it all started with feminism and all of it, and men were practically stripped of their rights. How things like men are not the head anymore, you can stand on your feet, and we misunderstood things. I was reading about it, and when I got to a stage, I discovered that men are beginning to step up to their post, especially fathers now. They are not leaving it to the mothers anymore. They are beginning to step up to their post. But I want us to round up with this. In this our modern world, when we need to make money, we need to pay bills, we need to make sure the family is fine. There's a lot of spending, like a lot of spending that you do, and you still have to go out there to work, and you still want to be present with your children. In few words, what are the advice that you have for fathers out there? How can they balance things? Yes, they want to make money, and family is there as well. How can they balance things, and one is not going to affect the other?
Yeah, for me, I think, and like I said earlier, I think it's a principle that might still be working now. If you are not there, your words should stand for you. If you are not present at home, if you have gone out for work or you have gone out for a conference or whatever, you must have left a word at home. And the children, they respect it. So make sure that when you are not physically present, you leave a word and you make sure you communicate. This is a world of technology. You can't travel for 2 days and not speak with your family. You can't go to work, although maybe circumstances may warrant, maybe there's no network where you are, but however, let the children know that daddy is not speaking to us because we know that maybe there's no network where daddy is. Not because that we know that daddy has gone, he doesn't care. So that effort, the children must see the love, and I'm saying love because I know that it takes somebody you love to be able to, you understand, when you show them love and they can feel it, you'll be able to go that extent to put every effort to make sure that if you are not home, you leave your word at home and you communicate. That communication is very important. You call, you make sure that they see your face. I mean, I have people who their fathers are not where they are, and they are not doing any bad. He's not physically present, however, he's 100% there because he knows every move. He knows where the child, if they call him that, where is the child going to be now, even though he's not in the same country with the child. He knows where the child will be. You understand? And when the father is at home, the father should please, if you're at home, be at home.
Speak to your children.
Yes, be at home. Don't isolate them. Don't send them away. Don't do coming and busy. And you can do some of those things together. Like I mentioned, you can do some of those things together.
Exactly.
And that's the kind of father I want to be. I want my child, I want to be able to do things with them. Because I know that this generation, the way they are going now, and that's what we did also. We know a lot of things that our parents didn't know, and we used it against them.
And it's even worse now.
Now they know times 10.
There's overload of information for
them. They know times 10.
See, one thing now is that the children of nowadays, if they see that I'm not gaining anything from my parents, they'll tell themselves, why am I staying with them?
Why are we here?
For example, there is this film I watched. The boy becomes elderly, leave the house, but every weekend he must come to that house to spend weekend in that house. And what is the reason? Because there is one particular food that used to make every weekend that the guy doesn't want to make. And that creates a form of a bond between the boy and the home. It must come to the house. You see, there's something you must be able, and that is the time we have now. If a child did not see any valuable thing that they are getting from the home, they tend to go outside to get it.
To find it. I think they look for value now.
Exactly.
Somehow.
Is the life we had now, or the era we had now, is so spontaneous that you know, if something is not coming out in this thing, there is no need. You just move.
There's no patience anymore.
There is no patience.
2 minute noodles.
So they feel that what is it that thing that can get me bonded to the house? So, and that comes to the level of your presence, your care, your sacrifice that you have done for them. Wherever they are, and they remember that thing, that will push them back.
Brings them back.
Yeah.
Brings them back.
100%.
It will definitely bring them back.
Yeah.
So, as Noah said, you know, you need to be transparent to all of them. When you are going out, let them know where you are going.
Yes.
And nowadays, I don't know, there's no level of being busy, pursuit of money, or whatever that you might be, that might just make you to forget completely. It is your lunch time.
Yes.
Take that long time that, okay, 15 minutes out of this long time, I want to speak to my...
Yes.
So take that time, and maybe you have the one that don't even have phone. You need to call the wife. Please, I want to speak with all of them.
Yes.
You understand? Let me speak with all of them. This is what is happening. I'm at work. I will get back so time. It's so busy. And if you are not coming at that day, let them know that I will not be able to come this day, maybe till tomorrow. You know? And things like that. Be transparent, communicate effectively, let them know what is going
on. I think for fathers, I think that was, let me round up with this. I could remember when we were young, if my dad he used to go for loads of conferences. Maybe he was going for a conference, my mom's first fear is that these children will fall sick, because we'll just miss him somehow, because it wasn't that he was home 100%, he was a very busy man, but he was like, he was there, at least for his generation. He was always there. My dad does not go out to clubs or anybody, so the only leisure he has was with his family. He will take us out, although he's not the going out type. My mom would just, let's go here, but it wasn't just Monsi alone. He was there, and this really helped me, and that's why I feel like we needed to do these videos for fathers who think they are very busy, or who think their presence doesn't really make any difference. Children are watching. And I believe that fathers are doing better, and I believe most people are still going to step up to their responsibilities. So I want to say thank you to both of you.
Thank you so much
for coming. I do appreciate it. I've learned a lot. In fact, I've learned a lot. I'm going to edit this video and watch it over and over again. It's been a very insightful one, and I want to say thank you to both of you. I do appreciate you, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share, drop a comment, and by the grace of God, do this again for the fathers. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a beautiful time.